بیشتر میگم حسین بیشترش کم روون میشه.
This has always been the idea of a pharaonic system, and identity politics is this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the same thing. You'll notice in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about which story the most? Story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam and Banu Israel. Why do you think this particular story is the most oft related story in the Quran? Is this because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just forgot how many times He revealed those verses? Or that He decided to say, well, I've run out of ideas and now I'm going to replicate the story over and over? Of course not. He wants to be able to tell you and I in these verses so succinctly about certain types of leadership, certain types of communities, and the challenges that they will ultimately face, and how that will be replicated. The Holy Prophet of Islam, Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, has a very famous hadith where he says that I fear for you, the Muslim community, after me, that you will fall into the same traps as those nations before you, the Jews and the Christians. Such to the extent would be that if they were to go into the hole of a snake or a lizard, you would end up following them step by step into that type of tribulation. Why did the Prophet say that? Why did the Quran speak to us so succinctly about some of these challenges? If you notice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Fir'aun and the pharaonic system. Fir'aun is the individual. But in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isn't just referring to Fir'aun the individual. He's telling us how a pharaonic system works. To understand that when leadership becomes so tyrannical and corrupt, when it puts itself above any kind of expectation of justice or law, what is that system capable of doing? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the following in Surah Al-Qasas, chapter number 28, verse number 4. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna Fir'auna ala fil arth. Surely Fir'aun exalted himself on the land. وَجَعَلَ أَهْلَهَا شِيَعًا, and made its people into parties. يَسْتَضْعِفُ طَائِفَةً مِّنْهُمْ يُذَبِّحُ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ. He weakens one party from amongst them. He slaughtered their sons. وَيَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَهُمْ, and then he let their women live. إِنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Surely he was one of the mischief makers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us that there is a sequence of events here. The first thing is that the pharaonic system does is divide you into parties. And it will make some of you weaker, some of you stronger. And the idea is making you weaker is to put you into a position where you are unable to stand up on your own 2 feet. This is the sunnah of a pharaonic system, to divide and then to make some of the parties weaker from amongst yourselves. What happens when there are multiple parties? They will fight each other. If I was to now divide people here and make some of you weak, some of you strong, some of you rich, some of you poor, some of you capable, some of you incapable, some of you access to jobs, some of you not access, what will happen? Eventually you will end up fighting with each other over the little that you want to be able to share. This has always been the idea of a pharaonic system, and identity politics is this. Identity politics in a nutshell is to take yourself to one small group, to say you belong exclusively to this group and you only want to make this group great, and the rest of them can fall, and it doesn't matter what happens to them. This one group is the one that has to remain supreme over everybody else. This is what is happening now. This is what is happening across the West, and this is what happens when now one group feels that they need to be able to have themselves represented better, as opposed to representing everybody within the society.
حسین حسین